I brought you a video the other day which has attracted something like nearly 70,000 views. That shows you what strength of feeling there is in our communities about the subject. I do, of course, refer to the dinghy divers. Well, the question I asked in that video was, what happens to the dinghy divers when the hotels are full? The answer was, of course, they go to churches. Well, I have a new question for you now. What happens to the dinghy divers when England is full? I'll tell you what the answer is next. How do everyone? Welcome back to the channel for a Monday. Hope you're doing all right. Before I go any further, I just want to throw out a big thank you to everybody for your support. And all the likes, subs and comments and everything else on the channel really means the world. And we are heading in good directions, and long may it continue. And it's all down to you at the end of the day. You listen, you contribute, and you give me the impetus to carry on with this thing called Andy the Gabby Cabby. And I tell you, I love every single minute of it. It's really satisfying. Anyway, on to the subject at hand. As we all know, and we've mentioned again and again and again, we have a big problem with the old dinghy diving brethren that are coming over the channel from France. I would say in their hundreds, but let's face it, it's in their thousands now, literally on a daily basis. Some of them are being tugged in by the RNLI and Border Force, and others are making landfall themselves, scarpering, and we never find them. I had a really sad thing in the shop yesterday, and when I paid for something, if there's a few pence left over, I go, oh, chuck it in the charity pot. And they gave me a choice of the RNLI and Pilgrim's Hospice. And I said, not the RNLI, thank you, Pilgrim's Hospice. And had it chucked in there. I found that very sad, and I wonder how many other people may be going down that road as well. And it's the way people feel at the moment because of what's going on with the dinghy divers and what we perceive the RNLI to be doing. It's crazy. Well, what happens when things start filling up down our neck of the woods? They go to Scotland. Yep, they come across the channel, fed and watered and everything else, packed on coaches. By the way, I actually drove through Dover yesterday and saw them all lined up, exactly where Steve Laws actually filmed them. So I know they're there. I've seen them. I intend to go down there at some point and have a better look around. Anyway, they're packed on those coaches and shipped 500 miles up the road to Scotland and put in a processing centre up there. This processing centre was used for failed asylum seekers. Basically leave them there and then they get kicked out of the country unless some lefty lawyer puts a stop to it. Well, the staff running this processing centre said it used to be reasonably quiet until recently, and they're getting frequent visits. So yet again, it's another example of us being overrun. And it's a very simple solution to the problem which no one seems to get. Stop the boats coming. Either stop them landing or tug them straight back to France, where they came from, and let them deal with them. Make it difficult to land, the problem goes away. It's very simple. We saw Boris ordering a review of this whole fiasco the other day in the news, and it didn't impress me one little iota. It's all smoke and mirrors, I'm afraid, and we're not falling for it anymore. I wonder whether they've realised this yet in the halls of Westminster. We don't give two flying shites about what they say. We don't believe a word of it. Priti Patel is pretty awful and needs to go for this reason alone, and I'm sure there are others. But ordering an internal review of the situation by no way solves the situation. It's just clouding it over with a seem to be doing act, and meanwhile hundreds of them are still flocking into Dover on a daily basis, and now that nice Jeanette McCranky woman up north is going to have to deal with them as well. We are filling this country by the day full of uncatalogued migrants who shouldn't be here. It's a people trafficking operation, the likes of which I've never seen, and it's tantamount to an invasion. Let's face it, they're coming over again and again and again. All very strong words, but what other way is there to look at it? Again, the simple solution is stop them from landing, and they stop coming. Can't see that happening unless the likes of you and me run for government and sort it out ourselves, which it may come to in the end, let's face it. Let me know your thoughts on this. Do they belong in Scotland? Who's paying for this? I think we know the answer to that. And what would you think would be the solution to stop it? Something that's been going on for years and getting worse and worse and worse. Anyway, that's me done for the day. I'll bid you toodaloo, and I will see you tomorrow. Ta-da, everyone.